Ah, what do we have here? Running into a wall will do that to you. Hey everyone, Base DS here, and welcome back to more Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2. So before we go ahead and officially wrap things up, we do have a little bit of story we do need to dive into concerning Episode 2. And with the special DLC, Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode Metal, we're going to do just that. We're going to see exactly how Metal Sonic came back from his crushing defeat during the events of Sonic CD, and to see how he got so powerful during the events of Episode 2. But first things first, we gotta get the Death Egg Mark II Zone Boss Act unlocked. Now let's move back over to here. So, what Episode Metal is, it is a DLC that is only accessible when you lock on Episode 1 with Episode 2. So, they did this as a big callback to the whole lock-on technology that they had for Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles. Of course, granted, in this case, while it doesn't necessarily merge both games into one, it does unlock a little bit of story that's exclusive if you end up buying both Episode 1 and Episode 2, so it's a nice little feature. So how Episode Metal is set up is that we will be going through all 4 zones of Episode 1, except we'll only be doing 1 act each, so generally it's going to be the first act of every zone. And granted, it's not an exact copy and paste. There is some different level design. In some areas, it's definitely going to be a little bit harder. And on top of that, there is a ton more badniks to deal with. So, yeah, that's going to be fun. But let's go ahead and start things off with Act 1. And as Metal Sonic moves into Mad Gear Zone heavily damaged, Eggman tells him to hop right in. And in this moment, the reason for why Eggman built Mad Gear Zone in the first place is finally known. It was all to restore Metal Sonic. But as we go ahead and start things off here in Act 1, do keep in mind, since we're going through all the zones from Episode 1, that also means we're going to be dealing with all the badniks as well. And since Act 1 takes place inside of Mad Gear Zone, that means we're going to be dealing with Bubbles, Asteron, Shellcracker, and Slicer. And you already know how I feel about 3 of those badniks. But it's okay though, as long as we keep a level head, we should be fine. And I'm going to come on over to here real quick, because I want this shield. Thank you very much. Alright. But anyway, out of all the acts for Episode Metal, I would say Act 1 is definitely the more deadlier of the 4. Act 2 comes in at second, and Act 4 comes in at third, because with Act 3, there's really nothing dangerous there. And typical, that Slicer ended up taking my shield. It's okay though, I got a replacement. I'm gonna wait for the Asterons to blow up though, because I do not want their projectiles hitting me while I'm making my way through these pistons. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we are approaching the halfway point of the act. We're almost out of here. Alright, we're able to get into that little transport tube. And it literally brings us right near the end. Get rid of that slicer first, though. But be careful, though, because we do have bottomless pits below us. And we got a slicer camping out right there. I hate those things. Alright. So, wait for the pistons to go back up. And we're good. And just like that, we are done with Act 1. 1 down, 3 to go. So, let's go ahead and get ready to move on to Act 2. We're coming back to Lost Labyrinth Zone, so that means we got Bubbles, Jaws, Orbinaut, and Burrowbot to deal with. And granted, there will be a small section where you do have to deal with water, but really, it's not all that high enough to even have to be scared of drowning from. And granted, you can avoid it anyway, so it's really nothing to even worry about. And yes, even though he's a robot, Metal Sonic can drown. But it's okay, though, because we're going to skip that part entirely. So we'll go ahead and hit this spring. Just make sure to avoid the Orbinauts there. And let's go ahead and continue on through this here. Luckily, a hidden spring lets us get to the top part here. Gotta be quick, though. Did not want to get hit by that lance. And now I've got another balancing act on the boulder again. Okay, and we're just going to go ahead and take that shortcut and not even bother with the pit of water below. But granted, as I said earlier, it's not even a threat. Just go ahead and run from the falling boulder. And your best bet is just to wait and let it pass. You can go ahead and try and get to the spring while it's chasing you, but I wouldn't advise it. And instead of falling platforms for this section, we've got these things. And I'm fine with that. Don't have to worry about mistiming any jumps or anything. Alright, we're getting close to the end of the act now. We just got one more balancing act. Here we go. Gotta be careful. Alright, we're almost to the end. Just a little bit longer. And we're good. And with that, Act 2 is over and done with. Just 2 more acts to go through. But before we continue on, we do have a little bit of story to experience first. So we know that Eggman was definitely looking for something here in Lost Labyrinth Zone back in Episode 1, but we never knew if he actually found it or not. But through Episode Metal, we can definitely see that he ended up finding it after all. And because of that, We now know how Metal Sonic got stronger during our encounters with him back in Episode 2. So, on to Act 3, and it's time to go ahead and return to Casino Street Zone. So that means we're dealing with Bubbles, Batbot, and Crawl. If I can just go ahead and make my way through here. There we go. Careful. I want to go ahead and get up to the top route there. Thank you. Alright, luckily I was able to... okay, I couldn't get up there, darn. And that stupid Crawl took my shield. It's okay, though. Alright. So, let's just go ahead and get on up to here. And you know what? Let's play some slots. Why not? Oh, really? Okay, in that case, that's all I'm gonna do. I'll take it. I will take it. Alright. Just gotta make my way through these bumpers here. Alright, we're getting close to the end of the act now. You know, you really gotta wonder how many times I've actually said that during this entire marathon. And yes, for the speed shoes, they actually changed it from Sonic's foot to Metal Sonic's foot, so nice little touch there. Ah, really? I ended up getting hit by the spikes? That sucks. Ah, well. I'll take it. Can't get through unscathed every time. But let's go ahead and move on to the last act. And so for Act 4, we return to Splash Hill Zone. So that means we're going to be dealing with Bubbles, Motobug, Neutron, Chopper, and Buzzer. So let's go ahead and begin to make our way through here. Okay, luckily I was able to get over that bottomless pit there. And I am going to go ahead and take the upper route here. Just for the heck of it. Alright. So far, so good. Okay, gotta take that route, but I'm fine with it. Okay, we'll get some invincibility. That'll help out. Especially considering we're going to be running into a lot of badniks along the way, too, so... Alright. So, we'll just go ahead and make our way up to here. Alright. Just a little bit further. Alright, just gotta watch out for the Neutron. Okay, and we are out of here. And with that, Act 4 is over and done with. And so that means we are done with Episode Metal. It was a nice little playthrough, though. And one last parting extra life. And as Metal Sonic prepares to storm Splash Hill Zone to take Sonic on, unfortunately, he arrives too late. he is ticked. And as such, he hijacks our rocket. At least now we know how he got his hands on it. But now that we've got the remaining acts for episode Metal unlocked, that'll go ahead and bring an end to Sonic the Hedgehog 4. And that means it'll also bring an end to the Supersonic Summer and Knuckles Marathon. So, until next time, thank you all for watching. I hope you've really been enjoying things so far, and I'll see you all again later.